What is going on, guys? What is going on, 27 squad? Welcome back in to another video, and today we're doing my final New York Giants mock draft. Now, you may see a video later on before the draft of my dream scenario. A lot of people are doing this. I did something like that last year called the perfect draft plan. That's probably what I'm going to call it again, the perfect draft plan for the New York Giants, but that's not this. That will be right before the draft. It'll kind of be like a wish list slash dream scenario type of video. But this is what I think the Giants are going to do in this draft. Now, I don't have any trades in here because if I put a trade in here in my final mock draft and they don't trade, I'm going to screw everything up and I will not be accurate. So I'll take my chances and just do a straight up mock draft, no trades involved. So let's get started. Now, first up, number 4 overall, we've heard some talks about Justin Herbert. We heard some talks about Tristan Wirfs as well. But if you want to talk about the best tackle in the NFL draft right now, you have to look at JEDRICK Wills. Now, I believe Andrew Thomas, in my opinion, I like Andrew Thomas a lot better than any other offensive line prospect. That's just me. I think he's the most balanced. I love balanced. He's a great run blocker, great pass blocker. He's played right. He's played left. You could throw him out anywhere, and if Nate Solder were to get cut or released or traded in the next 2 years, Andrew Thomas could fill in that left tackle role just fine, and he has experience back in his early collegiate career playing right tackle as well. So I think it's a match made in heaven. But I'm gonna say JEDRICK Wills will be the pick just because he's straight up the best offensive lineman on the board at number 4. You just really can't miss him. If the Giants were to trade down to 9 or 12 and Andrew Thomas is still on the board and probably a Tristan Wirfs is still there or a Mekhi Becton, I would still take Andrew Thomas. That seems like where you should choose him. But just because he's my favorite probably doesn't mean I should take him there. You gotta take the best tackle available, and I'm taking JEDRICK Wills. Now we move on to our second round pick, and I know what you're gonna say when you hear this pick. Well, why aren't you getting an edge rusher? There's a couple of guys there. Why aren't you getting a center? There's a couple of guys there as well. Well, I looked at the edge rushers and, projected in that area. And you look at Zach Bond, you look at Yetur Gross-Matos, you look at Willie Gay, you look at a bunch of these guys, Terrell Lewis. These are guys that are either too valuable or not valuable enough for that 36 spot. It's very, very challenging when you're looking at the edge rusher prospects in the second round. A lot of these guys will not drop there, and a lot of these guys probably isn't worth that kind of pick. You look at Terrell Lewis, he's mocked for the first round and second round as well, but I just don't think he will land there. I don't think the Giants will pull the trigger and take him 36 overall. And then you look at some center prospects, Lloyd Cushenberry, guys like this. The center position is bad, but I think you can really benefit off of this free safety position. I have the Giants taking Antoine Winfield, the free safety out of Minnesota. Now, you could say the height is a factor. I don't care. You look at a 5'9" prospect at safety. That's pretty much what safeties are looking like nowadays. You look at Darnell Savage last year out of Maryland, that got drafted last year in the first round out of Maryland. I was high on him back when he was a third-round prospect. Now he got drafted in the first round, and he seemed like a great pick. You look at Budda Baker coming out of Washington. You look at Tyrann Mathieu out of LSU. These guys are absolute field generals at that position. Doesn't matter their height. And listen, these guys are hard hitters. Darnell Savage, Budda Baker, Tyrann Mathieu. All three of these guys are under 5'11", and they are still hard hitters. It's the same exact situation of Antoine Winfield. This guy is a javelin missile in the box and has decent coverage. Finds the ball very easily, has great coverage, has great center of gravity being, his height, so he's able to shift directions very well. I love Antoine Winfield, and I really want him to be a New York Giant. Now, Jeremy Chinn is also a prospect as well, but I have a feeling this guy might go in the first round. A lot of people, he's picking up a lot of draft hype, and a lot of people are loving Jeremy Chinn. He might get the nod over Xavier McKinney. We'll see what happens. Next up, we go to the third round, and it's the same third round pick I had in last mock draft. I really like this prospect, especially at this value. ANFERNEE Jennings out of Alabama, the edge rusher. Listen, I've been on record saying this multiple times. The Giants cannot keep stacking third-round talent at the edge rusher position because you're just not going to solve anything. But the thing is, this guy is more valuable than a third-round pick. I like this guy. He's raw. Don't get me wrong. A lot of these edge rushers that we have are raw, but I think this guy has a potential to be better than Lorenzo Carter and O'Shane Ximenez. I think he's already off to a better track. Listen, he was coached by Alabama. He was coached by the best. Okay, you look at Lorenzo Carter. Georgia is a great school as well, but Alabama just knows what they're doing, especially when it comes to the edge rusher position. So I'm sure he's going to take what he learned from there. And Joe Judge also coming from that system as well. He's going to be fine in orchestrating that defense and helping orchestrating that defense with Patrick Graham at defensive coordinator. I like ANFERNEE Jennings. I think he's probably going to be one of our best pass rushers this year if he learns and if everything goes right when we draft him. We then go into the 4th round, and we haven't addressed the center position yet, and I know a lot of people's mock drafts, the center position was already addressed, but I decided to go elsewhere in other positions of need, because even though the center position is a big need, we did address one part of the offensive line with drafting JEDRICK Wills 4th overall. So now we can go ahead and double dip in that offensive line and get another offensive line prospect, and I'm going to get Nick Harris, the inside offensive lineman or center out of Washington. This guy is smaller, but thicker. This guy is smaller but plays a lot bigger, and he has a low center of gravity. He's able to play a lot stronger because he has that low center of gravity wide. I like this prospect. His run blocking is fantastic. I like his run block. He's a very mean mauler type out of Washington. I love this prospect, and I think he's going to be a sleeper in the 4th round, so watch out for that. But I have Nick Harris going to the Giants, the center out of Washington. Next up in the 5th round, you guys know I've been on record saying this as well. I do not want a wide receiver until at least the 5th round, and we're going to get a wide receiver here. It's out of my favorite team, the Boise State Broncos. John Hightower out of Boise State. Now this guy's about 6'2". I believe you could put him anywhere really. He's played a lot of positions like outside and inside, outside and in the slot for Boise State. I love this prospect. I think he's another sleeper, and think of Darius Slayton last year. John Hightower could be the same exact situation. So I love this pick, and hopefully we can get a sleeper wide receiver prospect that we don't have to spend a high pick on. John Hightower will be a good pick here. Next up, we have the 183rd pick in the 6th round, and we're going to take Trey Adams here, the offensive tackle out of Washington. Now, I just found this out about a couple of weeks ago. I mentioned in my last draft that I would have taken Trey Adams in the 2nd round, but, bad combine. He looks out of shape, very inconsistent play after his injuries, and he gets injured quite a lot, so it's going to knock his level down to the 6th round or 7th round. Listen, this guy is a can't-miss prospect. I don't believe he's going to be like the next big tackle, next big, offensive tackle that's a Hall of Famer in the 6th round. But listen, you have to take a chance on this guy. You've got nothing to lose. You're in the 6th round, 7th round. You're not going to get great talent. Last year, Trey Adams was going to be a 2nd round, 1st round pick. If you were in the draft last year. If you get him here, you're going to get some extreme value, and if he doesn't work out, then you let him go. He was a 6th round pick, but if he does work out, you have another tackle next to JEDRICK Wills, and they could probably be a duo there. Now we move on to the 7th round. A lot of people don't really care about the 7th round, but I think it's very interesting to see what kind of guys are in the 7th round, 6th round, and what kind of guys can work out. These are my best guess right now what the Giants should do in the 7th round and how they should go about the 7th rounds. Let's start off with pick 218. Let's talk about SEWO OLONILUA. SEWO OLONILUA. Man, that is a tongue twister, but it's just the Giants way. We have too many guys with weird names on this team, and in the past, it's only fitting that he would be a New York Giant. Listen, this guy is a bruising back. That's exactly what we need on this team. Saquon Barkley can do it all, don't get me wrong, but Wayne Gallman, Dion Lewis, these aren't guys that are going to run in between the tackles. We need a guy that's going to get the hard yards. This guy is a big boy. He is about 6'3", 240 pounds. This guy is an absolute animal, just a huge animal out of the backfield, and I think this guy can pick up some decent yards for us in between the tackles. We need a guy like that, and I believe he has a chance to make this roster from the 2nd round, from the 7th round. Next up, pick 238 in the 7th round. We're going to take Steven Sullivan, the tight end out of LSU. Listen, this guy's a prototype, extremely raw. He just he just transitioned to tight end this year. He was a wide receiver. He's a thinner guy. But listen, the Giants are in talks of trading Evan Ingram, which is exactly what I want. So let's get another receiving threat from the tight end position. We have Levine Toilolo as a blocker. We have Caden Smith as another tight end there who can do both. Let's get another receiving threat at the tight end position, and we can trade Evan Ingram for a 3rd round pick or what have you. Listen, this is the perfect pick for the Giants in the 7th round to get a guy that's like Evan Ingram and probably is going to stay healthy as well and used to play the wide receiver position. You just can't get any better than that in replacing Evan Ingram. And then 247 and 255 are the same exact picks from last mock draft. Tommy KRAEMER, the guard out of Notre Dame, and Jet Toner, the Stanford kicker. Aldridge Rosas needs to have a fire lit under his butt. It's better if we draft a guy, because that says we're serious. We're going to replace you if you don't clean up your act, if you don't get better, if you don't get back to your Pro Bowl year 2 years ago. If you just have a random undrafted guy, he's not going to think anything of it. Maybe you get a veteran in there that didn't have success in the past. Listen, you have to draft a guy. Let them know you're serious. Now, I'm not going to say go out in the 6th round or 5th round to get a kicker, but just draft him. It's the last pick in the draft. It's Mr. Irrelevant. Just draft the guy. You're not going to lose anything, and just have competition between him and Aldridge Rosas, and I'm sure Aldridge Rosas will clean up his act. That being said, guys, that is my New York Giants final mock draft in the 2020 NFL Draft. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Woo!